welcome to this video and welcome to my channel. I just wanted to give you a little heads up that some of the topics in this video might be a little bit explicit in nature, so if you don't want to hear about those kinds of things or you don't like those kinds of things, please exit the video now. Otherwise, please enjoy. Also, feel free to like the video or subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. Thank you.
I figured I may as well try making another video now that I'm pretty relaxed. So multiple people had requested, so in one of my last videos I mentioned that I had like a friends with benefits type relationship with a trucker, a truck driver, and I guess I'll talk about it now. So the first thing, well, I'm gonna say that he was a pretty screwed up guy, I think, although he wasn't as malicious or harmful as some other people I was involved with. I was actually involved with a teacher who was at my school when I was still going to the school. He had just quit being a teacher, actually like a couple months before I got involved with him, which is that's extremely creepy in hindsight, but when I was in high school, I don't know, I didn't really think anything of it. But anyway, so the trucker guy, we met, we also met, like, on an app. I had actually told him, so I had just turned 18, like, right before we met, so it was kind of treading the lines, but I had, like, just turned 18, so we met on an app. Our first meeting was literally, we went, he picked me up, because I didn't have a car then, and he took me to this adult bookstore. It was in the next town. I lived in a different state than I do now, and it was much less populated, so the town was like 20 miles from the town I lived in. But he took me there, and we did it in his truck. Or was it? Yeah, I think it was his truck. It was a weird experience. I think a lot of people, especially people that use like apps like that, of course, they're like sex addicts, and they use having sex with lots of people, or even just like the same people, but just doing like weird sexual acts. I think they use that as a type of like coping mechanism, or like thing that they do to release emotions. And I think this guy definitely was like that, because he had all these really weird fetishes. He was in a relationship, and he was in a relationship with a woman, and he said that she knew about him sleeping with other people. I don't know. I have suspicions that maybe, like, she did know about him sleeping with other people, but maybe she was okay with it before, but then she stopped being okay with it or something like that, because he showed me pictures of where, like, they used to swing, like, they used to go to these weird sex parties and do whatever. So there's that. I guess, I don't know, he didn't talk to me very much. We didn't talk that much, but I liked that. I thought that was a good thing. I always don't like having to, like, socialize with hookups. I think, I don't know, then how weird I am might get exposed. But at the same time, I think it's weird now if I don't talk to them, because it's like that red flag thing. Like, why would someone just show up and like sleep with someone without even talking to them at all? That's extremely risky. So I do think it's like mentally unhealthy, especially when like they're the one, like often these guys so like I said, the trucker guy was in a relationship with a woman, and he was he was bisexual, and it seems like some of these bisexual people, not making generalizations, but I've seen it enough where like with a woman they want to be really like domineering and like dominant and penetrative and whatever, but then with men they want to be like completely submissive. And so that's how this guy was with me. um, he he used to suck me off a lot. um, that was most of what he liked to do the most. Even though he did like when I penetrated him. We didn't do it that often though, and he was actually the first person that I did any kind of penetrative thing with. Uh, so I guess I don't know. It, I guess like in hindsight, it was pretty weird. Like it was weird, but it wasn't that weird. Like there are way weirder encounters people have with each other, of course, but I don't know. Like eventually, like the first couple times we did it in his truck, and then we upgraded to hotel rooms and stuff like that. But he was pretty poor, so we didn't do that much. We didn't meet like that many times. We just met for a long time, not that long, like 6 months. I moved back to the state that I grew up in, after I graduated high school. So, oh yeah, another thing that was kind of weird about him was that he would constantly text me, like while I was in school and like out of school. He was just constantly texting me. I thought that was kind of weird, because why would you want to text? Like he was 32. He was like, I mean, he was a truck driver. He was very like masculine looking, although he acted pretty feminine, to be honest. He was bald, which I kind of like bald guys, to be honest. And he was, I guess he was like chubby, but he had some muscle from previous jobs he worked. He was like, I don't know, he had some labor intensive jobs, so he had some muscles, and I really liked that. I think like I really liked how masculine he looked, but then he acted really feminine and subservient to me. Like I I'm sorry if this is TMI. I should include that trigger warning clip at the beginning of this video. I might do that. But anyway, he, like, I don't know, like authority figures and like really masculine men, that's like my favorite type to, to have sex with. Because a lot of the time, they're bisexual and they'll be very like subservient to me. Like I think, I don't know, I I just that just really gets me going for some reason. Like some kind of authority figure, like older person being subservient or in some way to me. I think it's because it's strange actually, because I think it really ties in with how I I haven't felt a sense of control in my life. Like even one of my first videos, I did a live stream about how I don't feel like I'm in control of my life. And so I just find it's an interesting connection. I feel like a lot of fetishes and stuff like that do arise from, um, I don't know, like your psychology and your background and like your past. So I guess it's a nifty piece of information that um, that I figured that out. So anyway, the trucker guy, he was extremely good at giving oral, like really really good. He was definitely the best. Well, that's not true. He's not the best I've ever had, but he's the best like long term person I've ever had for that. Um, he always like, I personally take a long time to finish. I'm sorry, TMI, but he like, I don't know, he enjoyed it. Like I could tell that he really really enjoyed it, and after a while, like after we knew each other, he um, could make me finish really fast because he just knew everything that I liked. So that was pretty nice. Um, kind of hope that I could meet someone else like that in the future. I don't know. I actually did meet someone like that, but then he ended up being really crazy. But I think this trucker guy was crazy too. But um, I guess like the thing about, I don't think I would ever be with someone in a relationship again because I do think it's wrong now. When I was younger, I used to think that relationships were basically all fake. They weren't real, and that they were just like something people did in order to look normal or to like appeal to societal standards, and that any like girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever, they always secretly hated each other. Like I used to have some pretty maladaptive ways of thinking, as you can tell. But anyway, the way of, I guess one of the benefits of having that kind of relationship with someone who is already in a relationship is that you don't have to deal with all the BS and the craziness that they have. Um, he used to hint to me that he was pretty crazy because he would randomly say things like I think one time we were talking about, um, actually, I don't really remember. And I said something like, oh, just do what you want, you know? Why are you letting people, like, dictate what you want to do? And then he said something like, if I did whatever I'd want, I'd be in a mental institution. So clearly this guy is crazy. I mean, clearly someone who, uh, just like I said in the last video, like, clearly someone who is going around, like, sucking random people's dicks. Like, clearly they're a little bit unhinged. So I shouldn't be surprised. But yeah, um, it was pretty nice. We actually, I don't know if I want to give out the location. I guess it doesn't matter because I don't live there anymore. So um, I live in the eastern part of the United States, and I had moved to the Midwestern part. So he had taken me to a place in the Midwest where it was really close to Canada. Um, so that was one of my favorite experiences. Um, that was really cool. And we hung out. Like, we used to, when we would go to really far away places like that, because I think he didn't want people to find out about us or like him being into guys or anything like that. So when he would take me to these faraway places, we would kind of act like a couple sometimes, which was probably kind of funny to look at because, like I said, I was 18 and he was 32. So, I don't know, but I thought it was so fun. Like, I thought it was extremely fun. I loved it. I love, like, anonymity and acting like a different person or something. Like, being separated from my normal life and getting to do something else for a while. I think that's like the main appeal that I have with these relationships, these like friends with benefits type things, these like secret sex relationships that I used to be in. Um, it was something about it. I just loved it. Actually, even talking about it kind of makes me want to do it again. Like, that would be so fun to just be friends with someone who lives kind of far and like go to this faraway place and then we act like a couple or something and then I go back to normal, you know, go back to like taking care of my mom and going to work and all of that, but and no one knowing. Because when I was in these relationships, um, they were during times when I wasn't very close with my friends. Like my best friend um, has been friends with me for a very long time, since like middle school, and we actually weren't talking much when I was in these relationships, so literally no one knew. Um, so that made it even more appealing. I guess it's just like maybe it's related to like autism, even because in autism it's very common for people to mask their autism and then they have this other side of them that's like their real self. Um, and I feel like, I don't know, the weird like secret sex version of me was like, it acted very different than like my normal self. And that's another reason why I have some difficulty determining who I really am and what I'm really like. I think that by making these videos and stuff like that, I'm actually able to see myself, or I hear myself talk at least, hear myself like, hear the things that I like about myself when I'm talking, or that I dislike and that I want to work on. So it at least brings me closer to maybe developing a persona that I'm more comfortable in. Because if I'm comfortable in my persona, then I'll be comfortable in general and I'll be able to bring more of my genuine self out, I think. At least that's my hypothesis. So, anyway, yeah, um, it's getting to be pretty long now, so hopefully you like my rambling. I guess maybe I can. I don't know if there's not much to elaborate on this trucker guy. It was pretty nice. And I think you might understand some of the reasons now why I liked it. So, yeah, thank you. If you've watched this far, thank you. I'm very flattered that some people have actually taken a genuine interest in me and my life. I never thought that would happen, but I guess it's because I never really exposed these parts of myself like this. But it's not even like this is so socially unacceptable. Like, it's not that weird. Like, people have experiences like this all the time. um I guess people just don't really talk about it to just anyone, but that's why this is anonymous and I'm posting it on YouTube instead of telling all of my acquaintances. Anyway, thanks again. Bye.